All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Arsenal 1, Sporting Lisbon 0. And you know what? It wasn't the greatest performance. You're never going to go back and watch that match again. You might flick on the highlights, but the most important thing happened today, and that was the result. For me, I've said it continuously, especially under Mikel Arteta, who for me doesn't play the most exciting football. It is one of the most boring styles of football that I've ever seen, to be honest with you. Mindless of Arsenal, mindless of Premier League, just all-time football. Mikel Arteta's tactical way of playing the game isn't the most exciting, and it's probably one of the least entertaining I've ever watched. But none of that really matters if you're getting the results and you're winning the trophies. End of the day, that's all I care about. If Mikel Arteta can play as boring as he wants, he can go and win every single game 1-0, have one shot on target. It doesn't matter to me, because what matters to me is at the end of the year, when it comes to August, how many trophies are in that cabinet? How many trophies did you pick up along the way? And so far, most of my criticism for Mikel Arteta has been that he's been here for 5 years, playing boring football, and there ain't nothing in that trophy. There's one FA Cup. And, you know, we came into this game off the back of a Southampton loss that was embarrassing and a loss to Man City that was embarrassing. And not only were they embarrassing the ways we lost those matches, but the fact that we went out of 2 trophies after, talk of getting quads and trebles. We go back-to-back games, knocked out of 2 trophies, one in the quarterfinals, one in the grand final. And, the questions were starting to mount. The pressure was starting to mount. And I wanted to see Arsenal, this team, Mikel Arteta, hit back at the criticism and get back to winning ways. And although today wasn't the most outstanding performance, and like I said, you're never going to go back and watch this game, we left there, all right? We went to Sporting Lisbon, their home game, and we left there with a win. Now all we have to do is win at home. Whenever you play these Champions League games, because they're over 2 legs, when you play the away game, I'm more than happy to get out of there with a draw. I don't always expect you to go into these games. It's the Champions League. They're tough matches. I don't expect you to always go to the away ground and come out with 3 points. I don't expect that. It shouldn't be what you expect. You hope for it. You want to go there and you want to win. But coming out of there with a draw, even sometimes just losing by 1-0, especially if you're up against a Real Madrid, a Bayern Munich, a PSG, a Barcelona, you can deal with that because you come back to your home ground and you win there and you get through there. The main part is getting through. How you do it, it doesn't matter. But for us, off the back of a Southampton loss and a Man City loss, to go to Lisbon, come out of there with, a lead going into the home game, I couldn't be more happy. And we're going to talk about individual performances, but the main thing was this team found a way. It came late, but they found a way to win the game. And for me, most of that is off the back of David Raya. David Raya, for me, mindless of today, if we're talking season, if we're talking best Premier League player of the year, I think David Raya is in that conversation, most definitely. And he's most definitely in the conversation for best Arsenal player. I mean, if we go and win the league, basically we're looking at a few players that could be player of the season. Looking at Declan Rice, you're looking at Gabriel and Saliba, and you're probably looking at David Raya. And when you talk about players, especially goalkeepers, and you say, this guy here has won us games. This guy has gotten us points throughout the season. I mean, it shows how good of goalkeeper he is. Because there has been games where he has saved us. There is games where he's got us points. There's games where we've won off the back of David Raya, and today could fall into that category because without David Raya, we probably go and lose this game. And that's really important for me because not only does that mean we have a spectacular goalkeeper in David Raya, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, if not currently the best goalkeeper in the world. It's up to you who you pick. I always liked Courtois. David Raya is in that conversation, and when you have a goalkeeper like that, it's very, very important because you look at that PSG team that won it last year. PSG don't go and win the Champions League if Donnarumma's not in goal. There's a reason Man City went and got him. I don't believe he's been as good at Man City as he was in PSG, but PSG's run to a Champions League win came off Donnarumma. If Donnarumma isn't in goal against us, we probably knock PSG out. That's how important having a good goalkeeper is. And David Raya today is one of the key reasons we didn't lose that game. Because we could have very well gone down 1-0 within 8 minutes. That shot, that I thought it just hit the bar. I thought it hit the crossbar and Araujo was unlucky. But the fact that David Raya got that fingertip to it, nudged it onto the bar, and kept that clean sheet, I mean, it just shows how good he is. And when we first signed David Raya and into his first season, I always sort of said, David Raya is a good goalkeeper. He's only here because he's got better work with the ball. He's better on the ball than what Aaron Ramsdale is. That's the only thing he's better at. But his shot stopping, his, electric saves, like getting off the ground and jumping and going to the other side of the goal. He's like cat-like reflexes. His saves are unbelievable. And I think this upturn in his ability to be a shot stopper, combined with his work on the ball, puts him as one of the top keepers in the world. I thought with his height and, I didn't rate his shot stopping at first, but we can all see it now, and I have no qualms in saying that I was wrong when we first signed David Raya, because I was questioning it, and you know what? The fact is now, no one questions it. The fact that Aaron Ramsdale was binned and nobody questions it means the right decision was made, and David Raya is an unbelievable goalkeeper, and the amount of points he saved us over the season, the amount of games he won us over the season, and add today into that equation, because today he saved us, a draw, possibly a loss, because 1-0 down within 8 minutes, the game can go very, very differently from there on out. Not saying that we couldn't have gone and won it regardless, but you are talking about a very different way that game's going to be played. So David Raya needs a whole heap of credit. There's one other guy that needs a whole lot of credit, and he's a guy that, for me, I trash basically every time I talk about Arsenal. Not necessarily in videos, but just with people that I talk to about football, and that's Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz came off the bench today and won us that game. And I couldn't be more happy with him. My problem has never been Kai Havertz personally. My problem with Kai Havertz is probably still the same problem that we had today. And that was signing a $65 million player on £250,000 a week to sit on the bench and come on for the last 10 minutes of the game. That would be my problem with the whole thing. That the fact that Kai Havertz was signed for such a big amount of money to realistically not be a starter in any of the positions he's tried and be subject to the bench, and he might come on for a cup game, he might come on late in a game. That's where my problem lies. But whilst he is at this club, I want to see him making an impact. And if that is coming off the bench when Gyökeres isn't firing, if that is playing in the 10 when Odegaard and Eze are out and firing, I have no qualms with him staying at this club. If he comes on every week and puts in, a performance like, even though we lost to Southampton, he's still found a way to get himself an assist. Today, he's come on late. He's found himself a goal. That's what I want to see from Kai Havertz. Output. If you're playing poor, give us a goal or assist. If you're playing really well, hopefully that goal and assist comes. That's what I want to see from Kai Havertz. And today, you couldn't ask for much more. He didn't choose to sit on the bench, but as soon as he came on, he found a way to make an impact. And that impact sent us 1-0 up going into our home leg. I couldn't be more happy with the Kai Havertz that we saw today. Like I said, I still have my problems with the fact that we're paying him so much money. We've paid him so much money to be a bench warmer. All right, that is a major problem, and that falls on Mikel Arteta. But whilst Kai Havertz is at this club, he needs to be putting in performances like that. If it was up to me, I'd sell him in the next break. I don't think it'll happen. So whilst he's at this club, he needs to be making impacts. The other person I want to give a bit of credit to is Gabriel Martinelli for that ball over the top to Havertz. Martinelli makes a lot of wrong choices in games, shoots when he should have passed, passes when he should have shot, doesn't take on the... there's plenty of problems that I have with Gabriel Martinelli, but today he found that unbelievable ball over the top to Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz takes the touch, buries it, and we win that game. So credit to Gabriel Martinelli coming off the bench and finding that goal. It's still a problem, isn't it? It feels like every time Martinelli starts, he does shit, but comes off the bench and does well. And the same with Trossard. Trossard seems to start, do shit, or he comes off the bench and does well. So you're almost saying, all right, which guy are we going to have play shit today so the other guy can come off the bench and play well? That is a problem. We definitely need to address that in the next break of who are we signing. We need a starting left winger, and I'm probably saying Trossard needs to go. That would be the one that I would get rid of. Because I think Martinelli offers a little bit more. He's an outlet. He's somebody that in a game where you want to be running in behind, he offers that, whereas a lot of wingers don't offer that. He can also play off the strike. There's a few options that I feel like for Martinelli. Trossard's a good technical player. I wouldn't care which one stays, but one of them for me has to go, and we have to sign a top left winger. One other thing I wanted to talk about in this game was Martin Odegaard. This guy for me isn't captain material. It's another poor showing from him. I'm starting to, for a long time now I said Martin Odegaard needs to be pushed to the bench and we need to start a cam. I'm now getting closer and closer to saying if we can get 40 to 60 mil for him, you've got to sell him. He just doesn't bring anything for me to these games. He doesn't find that killer pass. He doesn't get a goal out of nowhere. He doesn't elevate the players around him. He just, for me, he's almost a passenger in this team, and that's very harsh, but that's just what I've seen from him this season. It's what I saw from him last season. I can't remember if it was the season before that he had the really good season, or the season before that, but the fact that we're going back so many years to think about when we saw a good Martin Odegaard, for me, is the problem. Martin Odegaard has a chance here to end this season, win some trophies, be a big player in these games, and for me, he is just this sitting passenger, and I think we need to sign a top cam. Eze, for me, can be that, could become that, but I haven't seen it this season. He's also been injured quite a few times, so yeah, I think it's a problem that definitely needs addressing. I'm not sure who you guys would prefer to sign for that cam position, but I think we need a replacement for him. The last thing I want to talk about is the defense. I mean, I didn't think the defense was great today. I thought Sporting Lisbon had a lot of opportunities. Of course, Sporting Lisbon are the home team. They're going to have opportunities. Don't get me wrong. I'm not expecting us to keep a clean sheet away in Lisbon in the later stages of the Champions League. But the past few sort of games, there has been a few holes found in this defense. And I was trying to think to myself, why do I believe our defense seems to be not as compact as it normally is? And there's only one thought that I can have going through my mind for why this defense isn't as compact as it usually is. How long has it been since we've seen our best four defenders start a game? Not just one, though, like two or three. It's been a very long time since we've seen Timber, Hincapié, Saliba, and Gabriel with Raya behind them, Declan Rice and Zubimendi in front of them, in that sort of tight-knit, compact, our best sort of back line intact for a set of games. And it's been a very long time. It seems like every week we are dropping one player out and bringing somebody in. This week, Saliba's playing. Next week, Mosquera's playing. This week, Calafiori played. Last week, Hincapié played. A few weeks ago, Timber was playing. Now Ben White's playing. And I think these constant changes of not having that consistency of a back four is making us a little bit more subjective to more shots on target, more attempts from the opposition. And that is a problem. Obviously, you can't do anything about the injuries, but I think that is the reason for this upturn in the amount of chances that we are conceding in our backline, and our backline not looking as stable as it normally is. And I think it is just a simple fact that it's been a very long time since we've had that continuity between defenders. There's singularity performances that I think aren't good enough. I thought Gabriel against Southampton wasn't great. I thought Mosquera against Southampton wasn't great. I haven't seen Ben White play well since he's come back in this team, and he's somebody that I think we do need to look at moving on. Timber is our right back. He is the best right back at this club. Unfortunately, he's injured. But I haven't seen much from Ben White to say that he is a good backup. For a long time there, I thought Ben White should have been playing in front of Jurrien Timber when Jurrien Timber first sort of came into the club. I said, Ben White's done nothing wrong. He is a good right back. We don't need to get rid of him. We paid 50 mil for him. But after you watch Jurrien Timber play for a season and a half, you realise just how good he is and the flaws that Ben White has. And most of Ben White's flaws, for me, are defensive. I actually think Ben White's better going forward than Timber is, but I want that solid defence at the back, and Ben White's not offering that. On the left back, I'm not sure who I prefer. I feel like it's a game-by-game basis, which one you prefer. Hincapié, for me, had a really good run, but then sort of before his injury had a few shitty games. Calafiori can play really, really well, or sometimes get lost and found out. So, yeah, I'm not sure what you do with that left-back position. We've got three top left-backs, in my opinion. Miles Lewis, Skelly, Hincapié, and Calafiori can all do a job there. But which one is the guarantee best, I'm not sure. Whereas at right-back, the guarantee best is Timber. Guys, I'd love to know what you guys thought of the game today. Like I said, the performance wasn't there, but the result is, and that's all that matters. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm out of here, guys. See ya!